Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome Wednesday, everyone, to another incredible Real Film Nerds podcast, episode number 365. Let's just pray to the good Lord above that this movie is a lot more happier content than last week's. Now, don't get me wrong. The Zone of Interest is an incredible film. I really liked it, but it is a tough subject to tackle. I don't know if I'll ever watch that movie again, but God, it was good. Anyways, my name is Matt, one of your two hosts, as always. My good buddy, clicking away on his phone, trying to find the MCU tie-in as fast as he possibly can, mysterious Michael Talent.
Hey, everybody. Dude, you know the MCU tie-in on this one was pretty easy, so I stopped looking right there.
Yes, I know. It was one of the main characters. But, Mike, I think the more important thing we need to discuss, and hopefully you're not going to be too embarrassed, but happy birthday, Mike.
Oh, yes. It will be my birthday when the pod comes out.
When this podcast drops, it will be Mike's 57th birthday. Congratulations, you made it.
Yeah, might as well be 62. I'm pulling from Social Security. Woo!
There you go. While you still got it. So, all right, Mike, this week we're talking about Arthur the King. But you know what, Mike? I think we need to start this one out with a bang. Lift everyone's spirits right off the bat in the podcast with a brand new giveaway. Mike, would you like to know what we're giving away this week?
Yes, I would, Matt. I was trying to come up with something witty to say, like something about, like, don't worry, be happy. But I couldn't come up with anything. So anyway, Matt, what are we giving away?
So from our good friends over at Paramount Pictures, and we recently reviewed this film. I gave it 4 out of 5 reels. I really enjoyed this movie. Mike, do you remember how many reels you gave it?
I don't remember how many reels I gave it. I don't have your newfangled app.
Well, I keep telling you to install it. You got an iPhone. You can do it.
I could do it.
But anyways, and then you could follow me, and then I would have 2 followers. Hinshaw, who never uses the app and doesn't know how to use it, and you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So anyways, that's right, folks. Mike alluded to it a little bit. We are giving away digital download codes or copies. I'm not sure if it's just a rental or if this is an own. Doesn't matter. They didn't tell us. They didn't describe it. But we're giving away copies of Bob Marley One Love on digital. So, Mike, for our listeners to be able to win or be put into the drawing to win a copy of Bob Marley One Love, what should they do?
All right, Matt. I was trying to think of something fun and simple for this one, so I think you came up with this, and it's perfect. You just tell us your favorite Bob Marley song. How hard could it be? So I think that's a good one, dude.
Everybody has to have one, right? They just do. It's Bob Marley. I mean, even if you don't like Bob Marley. Or not, I mean, who doesn't like Bob Marley? But even if you don't listen to him religiously, you have a favorite song. I mean, Mike, we're metalheads, and we both really enjoy Bob Marley.
Oh, yeah. No, his music has transcended and super popular, and people have heard it everywhere. It's just, you've heard it.
All right, so shoot us an email, Mike@realfilmnerds.com or nerds@realfilmnerds.com. Tell us your favorite Bob Marley song. We'll drop you into the contest to be entered to win a digital copy of Bob Marley One Love. And let me get to my business right now. Bring home Bob Marley One Love on digital now. Celebrate the life and music of an icon who inspired generations through his message of love, peace, and unity. Buy Bob Marley One Love on digital today and get over 50 minutes of behind-the-scenes footage and deleted scenes. Available at participating retailers. It is rated PG-13, and again, it's from our dear friends over at Paramount Pictures.
All right, dude. Thank you, Paramount.
All right, so on with our review of Arthur the King. I just wanted to get that out there, man. Just really start the pod off on a happy high note. I talked about it earlier. Zone of Interest is a tough one, and we're coming off of that one. We're going to a good one. This is a fun film, family film, upbeat film. We got an upbeat film giveaway. Mike, first impressions. Oh, you know what? I didn't do it. Oh, I almost screwed it up. Mike, give us the breakdown for Arthur the King.
Okay, I was about to stop you, Matt. I was going to start waving the flag, but you were rolling. You were rolling fast and furious.
I got it. I caught myself. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So Arthur the King, directed by Simon Kellen Jones, written by Michael Brandt, based on the book from Michael Leonard. And this movie is an adventure racer adopts a stray dog named Arthur to join him in an epic endurance race. And this movie starring Mark Wahlberg, Simu, Leo, Juliet Reliance, Natalia Emmanuel, and Ali Sulman. So, yeah. I like this movie quite a bit, Matt. It was a good movie to watch after our last movie, but it was just a good movie, man. This race, man, the race was part of like kind of a character in this movie, and man, that was a crazy race, dude.
It was insane, man. I keep trying to describe it to people like on the radio and just they're asking me what I'm reviewing this week, and it honestly, it's the Iron Man on steroids with a team. I mean, it's crazy how hardcore this race is.
Oh yeah, no, it's nuts, man. Like, there's a scene in the movie where they're like, it's been like 3 days, and they're like, yeah, I got like 45 minutes of sleep, I'm good, dude. I could not handle that.
Dude, I know for a fact you wouldn't be able to make it because you're pretty much off the kilter if you don't get at least 7 hours of sleep.
Oh, yeah, man. I need that 7 hours, man.
I'd probably be okay with it other than all the physicality. Now, if I just had to not sleep, then okay. But, having to walk and like climb mountains and like zip line through shit and mountain bike, yeah, I'm screwed. I would just die.
Rock climbing, dude. It was just like everything, like kayaking and I don't know. Did they have a swimming leg? I don't know, man. It was just insane.
Well, I didn't see really a swimming leg, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was one. I mean, there was a scene where Mark Wahlberg goes in the water, but that's into spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, not, yeah. But man, crazy race. But this movie, it was good, dude. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I think this is a good film. And we were talking about it a little bit before we hit record, but there were a lot of families in my theater. There was a lot of people, almost as many people. Okay, so I should probably just say this. I went and saw a movie on Tuesday in the theaters by myself that I've always wanted to see in the theaters, and I've never gotten a chance to do it. It is their 30th anniversary. I saw Pulp Fiction on Tuesday.
Oh, dude, man, it's been 30 years since that came out?
In October, it'll be 30 years, yeah.
Holy moly, dude. Because I remember my cousins got me into that when I was probably about 12. I saw that movie, I think, when I was 12 years old. And afterwards,
sounds about right, yeah.
And afterwards, I looked at my cousin, Brian, and I said, the hell was that about? Because the backwards editing stuff, man, it was a little rough, man, for my 12-year-old self.
Like, I would just go with the heroin overdose was a little rough for me at 12.
No, it was the editing. I had a hard time figuring out where the actual end of the movie was, like which way. And I guess it was the beginning, kind of,
kind of, but not.
John Travolta's character getting whacked. Isn't that kind of the end?
Yeah, I would, well, yeah, but that wasn't really the beginning. I would consider that kind of the end with Butch and everything and riding off into the sunset kind of thing. Yeah. But that wasn't really the beginning. That was kind of, almost towards the end. But yeah, I never saw that in the theaters, and I wanted to go see it in the theaters, and it was $5, and the theater was fucking packed because there was only one showing. It was packed for a Tuesday night in Prescott. There was probably 80% capacity. When I went and saw Arthur the King on Thursday, I went to the late show, which was the 7:30 show. Same thing, dude. It was at least 75 to 80% full, and it was mostly families. And I thought that was great. I'm like, man, this is going to be a good turnout. They're going to make some money. And it was a great film. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Is it going to win any awards? No. Is it going to be memorable forever? No. But it was just a good time. Like, period. It was just good.
Yeah. No, it was good. And how we alluded to earlier, Matt, it did okay at the box office, but they were expecting a little bit better. And, I'm not sure why it didn't do better. I mean, it has Mark Wahlberg. It's like a family movie. It's got a dog in it. Like, I feel like that would bring a lot of people out to the theater, but it seems like people are just waiting for stuff to come out streaming because it happens so fast.
I just saw today that now Hulu is going to start cracking down on password sharing as well. So, Mike, here's my question for you. As all these streaming services continue to crack down on password sharing, they see a bump in subscribers when they first start cracking down on them, which is fine. But I'm wondering long term if it's going to hurt them because not everyone can afford all these freaking streaming services every month, which put them all together costs way more than cable every month.
Yeah, what I think is going to start happening a lot more, and I've already seen people who like basically advocate for this, and it's like basically they'll wait, they subscribe for like a month or two when there's periods of new content that are worthwhile, and then they go move on to the next one, and they just kind of exist on one for like a couple months, like basically like, oh, I'm going to get Netflix for a couple months because they got this and that and this thing. And then I'm going to move on to Hulu because they came out with a couple shows that I kind of like. And then I'll move on over to HBO Max because they've got, the new Game of Thrones is out or whatever, Dragons or, whatever the thing is, right? And so what I think is going to end up happening is there's going to be a lot of like churn kind of where people will pick and choose like, oh, the new Stranger Things came out, so I'm going to, get Netflix for that, but I'll wait until it's all the way out. Like if they start like a lot of them are releasing shows like every week, like even Amazon Prime did it with the Reacher. It came out like I think 3 episodes up front, and then you had one every week, and they've done that with The Boys as well. And I think they did that with Lord of the Rings. What I think people will do is they'll just wait until they're all available, get it for a month, watch all the stuff that they want to watch, and then they'll cancel.
Yeah, that's a good point. So have you done anything like that yet, Mike, or no?
I haven't really, but I've been seeing a lot of these articles telling you like, oh, this is the one you should drop this month, and this is the one you should pick up, like exactly what to do.
Yeah, and like when and how.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's all those details, but I mean, it's like what they're going to do. They're basically, these people are, and it makes sense. I just want to pay for one streaming service, so they do. They pay for one. They just choose a different one every month.
So not to keep talking about this because we need to talk about Arthur the King, but I think this is going to be to, the streaming service's detriment, because if you pay for a year for one, I pay for a year of one, someone else, like my sister pays for a year for one, and someone else pays for a year for one, that's 4 year-long subscriptions versus a month where it's $12. from each one of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's going to be a good thing. There's likely, and you know, people have been predicting this for a little while, but I mean, I think it's truly happening. There's going to be some consolidation of the streaming services, and then there's going to be some that just go away. Like, it costs a lot to running a streaming service. I don't think people realize how much it costs. It does cost a lot to have all that.
Especially the sheer level of servers to hold your content, let alone the bandwidth for everyone hooking up to those servers.
Yeah, no, I mean, the internet's great and stuff, but it's not cheap to host and have all this content just kind of available on the whim. And I even think that some of the providers have been pulling back some of the content just so they don't have to maintain the storage levels of all their CDNs, their content delivery networks, like of stuff, because it's also about getting stuff to the edge, right? You don't want, you know, when I'm streaming something, let's say if I was in like New York City, but the content's over there in Silicon Valley, that's a long way for all of that internet traffic to pass for the stream. So what they do is they copy the stuff over to something that's closer to New York City or in New York City, and then you stream it from that. But you still have to maintain all that infrastructure, and it's just a lot.
Right. It's like electricity. It's like having your generating station and your substations.
Yeah. No, that's a good analogy, Matt.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
So, all right, to get us back on topic of Arthur the King, Mike, why don't we go through your favorite part of the entire podcast?
All right, Matt. So what are you drinking this fine morning, evening, afternoon?
Well, Mike, thank you for asking. I'm not drinking anything fancy. What's fancy to me, because it's like my favorite beer, or one of my favorite beers, but I'm just drinking a bottled Kilt Lifter.
Oh, dude, those are nice. It's a good beer. It's just solid. Happy
birthday. Yeah.
All right. Well, man, I'm drinking one of those IPAs or India Pale Ale. It's called Double High, and so it's a double IPA, and High is kind of a crazy game that people used to bet a lot on, but I don't know if they do as much anymore.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this. It's the one with like the banana-looking things. You throw them really hard and fast, like what they did in Jackass.
Correct. That is it. Yes.
Got it. Now, is this like one of your favorites? Because, Mike, it is your birthday. You should be drinking one of your favorites.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very good beer out of Tampa, Florida.
Okay, Mike. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a birthday dad joke, or if this is going to be a dog dad joke, or maybe a little bit of both. But anyways, Mike, what is this week's incredible, amazing, stupendous dad joke, not from the new dad joke book I just sent you for your birthday?
I got dad jokes. I don't think they understand, though. Gotta think I'm funny. Other people never laugh, though. Dad jokes.
No, it's not. So this one's on topic again, Matt. I've been trying to do these. Why did Arthur the dog love adventure racing?
Well, I mean, if you watch the movie, the meatballs.
Because he wanted to be the barking champion.
Ha.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he loved meatballs. Yeah, that's why, really.
Yeah, he just loved the meatballs. But no, dude, I got you a new dad joke book for your birthday. So I know you have received my gift, but you haven't opened it, but that's what it is. I'm sorry. The surprise is ruined. I told you I was going to do it, though. I told you I was going to get you a new one.
You did tell me you were going to get me a new one, so you did it.
Good
job,
it.
Matt.
You're welcome. And it wasn't directly from Amazon. I actually had to ship that mofo. It was pricey. Freaking shipping. Anyways, Mike, speaking of things that are pricey, how does Arthur the King relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Ooh, Ooh, dude, that was good, dude. That was good. Well, like we alluded to earlier, Simu Liu. Liu.
No, you got it. It's Simu Liu. Yeah.
Yeah, Simu Liu was in Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings.
I think wasn't he in a couple others where he made cameos? I don't remember. You probably know.
Yeah, I think he was. But yeah, he was. Yeah.
But yeah, that was his big role. Was in Shang-Chi. Yeah,
Shang-Chi. Yeah.
I liked that film. I thought it was good, and I hope they make some sequels, but I don't know if they will. I don't know. Anyways, so folks, you know what that means. We are now in the spoiler section of Arthur the King. So if you are one of those people that are waiting for it to come out on streaming and you don't want it to be spoiled because we are going to spoil the hell out of it, you might as well turn it off now. So, Mike, ready, set, spoil.
Okay, dude. So I was interested in, after I watched this movie, of course, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I wanted to research a little bit about how true this based on a true story was. And what I found out, it's pretty accurate. Now, some things were changed, like where the things happen, but the gist of the thing is right on. There was a team doing this adventure race, and this dog tagged along, and like a lot of the things in the movie happened. So, What about them not getting first place? Was that true?
I
didn't see anything about that. I'm not sure.
Okay, I was just curious because I was wondering if that was true or if they made that like to make it, pull a little bit more on your heartstrings. Like they sacrificed not getting first place for this dog that was following them, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things happened like the dog started to kind of get this cult following. The race organizers told them they couldn't go on the kayak at the end or whatever.
Right,
like,
yeah.
All that stuff really happened where the dog like chased him into the water and like they went and got him and everything. Like that was like straight from that really happened.
Well, so then that makes me think that they probably did sacrifice their first place for second to save the dog, because the dog, they weren't going to leave him behind, and they sure as hell weren't going to let him drown. And in the movie, spoilers, again, we are in that section, people. Mark Wahlberg jumps in the water and grabs the dog after he starts, basically drowning.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I was impressed that a lot of the scenes and things that happened were, I don't think it was all 100% accurate, and obviously it was Hollywoodized a little bit. I mean, but it was pretty right on with a lot of the stuff, and it was based on a book by, Mark Wahlberg's characters, like the real one.
Yeah. Who is that? Michael Leonard?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Lindnord.
Yeah,
Lindrad?
Yeah, well, so he's a Swedish guy. So the difference for the movie, the difference for the movie was like he was Swedish, and the race was in Ecuador instead of Dominican Republic. But I mean, like it was pretty similar stuff.
Very, very similar. Yeah, different parts, different countries, but still that southern, South American area. I mean, Dominican Republic is an island. Ecuador isn't an island. But
yeah, but it was still, I guess
same area, same terrain, same kind of stuff.
So close to the equator.
Yes, there you go. Good, thanks, Mike. Close to the equator and still on this side versus over in Africa or Australia or one of those.
Yeah.
But overall, man, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And one thing I want to know, Mike, is this true? Because I didn't research it. I know you did because you owned up to it. The scene with the zip line. Did they really do that in real life, or was that some made up Hollywood shit? Because that scene was intense, dude. That scene was insanely intense.
I'm not sure if that was or not, but I will say when I was reading about it, it did say the incident with like where the dude almost fell off the cliff.
Yeah,
That was pretty much right on. The only thing was the dog didn't like protect them or whatever. The dog was with them, but
Yeah. It didn't stop them from
it didn't
going
stop
over
them.
the edge.
They essentially something happened and they heard some like the wind changed or something, and so they didn't fall. But like it was very close to what happened. So I don't know if that did or didn't happen, but man, that was some intense stuff, dude. And like being mountain bikers, Matt, could you
No.
drag your mountain bike up the
on
cliff,
my back,
dude?
No. Not the mountain bikes we had back then. Now, mountain bikes today are a hell of a lot lighter. Mike, have you seen some of these professional level mountain bikes today? They're insane, dude.
No, but I thought that scene was kind of cool, but at the same time, I was like, wait. They can just clip on their mountain bike to their stuff? They have all the gear?
No, they had to have some shit set up, probably from their climbing stuff. You know what I mean? Like carabiners and ropes and stuff like that. But still, I wouldn't want to strap a 20, 30, or 40-pound bike on my back. Now, ours were much heavier than that when we were doing it back when we were in high school and, middle school and stuff, because ours were all chromoly, so they were like closer to like 50 pounds. But still, dude, that's a lot of weight to strap onto your back and then climb up the side of a mountain. And then the scene with the zip line where she's like literally her entire weight plus the bike is being supported by the rim of Mark Wahlberg's bike. I'm like, there's no way in hell I would have broken that rim in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was a pretty good scene. The only thing I didn't like about that scene was the kind of terrible green screen on Wahlberg and the other characters, their faces. Like,
Yeah,
it was real bad, dude.
it was. That's where the budget constraints come in for sure. The other one that bothered me, I don't know about you on this, Mike. That's why I'm just going to bring it up. The cinematography was decent, but it wasn't anything super spectacular. And you would think in an adventure movie with all this incredible terrain, all these incredible places, that the cinematography would have wowed me, and it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just budget stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I feel like they could have done a little bit more, for sure. Another thing with, like, the budget constraints, it wasn't too bad, but it was a little bit hokey, was the dog, when the dog was in the water scene. That was, it was like a CGI dog or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, okay, so that's one. I don't know if you noticed this too, Mike. Speaking of the dog, there's a bunch of different scenes where they clearly like CGI'd in like the eyes to make like a reaction from the dog. Because yes, it's probably difficult to get a dog to roll his eyes or do different things to insinuate emotions in a dog. But I could tell certain scenes that I'm like, oh yeah, they CGI'd the crap out of those eyes rolling back and stuff like that.
Oh, I don't know if I noticed that as much, but yeah, man. And like my wife, Mags actually saw this.
She went with you?
Not with me, but she saw it.
Oh,
and
poor Mags.
Yeah, and so she was like, the scene with like the dog chase.
The dog chase where the dog was chasing our main character dog.
No, this is the dog chase where the alley dogs or whatever.
Yeah, and they're chasing after our main character dog, and he jumps into a truck.
Yeah, she was like, that was pointless, and dogs wouldn't do that.
Probably true. I mean, she is a vet, so she probably would know those things, Mike.
Yeah. So she was just like, but she got why they did it. And it's like, there's just a couple things where they were kind of trying to show the parallels of like the dog before, they got, and I mean, I get why they were doing it, but it was just a little bit weird.
Well, I kind of liked it because you get the backstory of the dog as well as the backstory of our main character, Michael. because at the same time they're clipping between Michael trying to raise funds and being able to do this adventure team again, and the dog just trying to survive. And I thought that was kind of a nice little not parallel, but a nice showing that it wasn't just like the humans. It was also the dog and where he was and how he came to be and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was hokey. Yeah, it was a little cheesy, but I kind of liked it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, no, I liked it. The one thing also that me and Max were like a little bit like, this seems odd, is he's supposedly, kind of like struggling, does some real estate something with his dad.
Yeah, his dad owns something, either a brokerage or a team or something, and he's holds an open house for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But the house they live in, it's like in the mountains, like just gorgeous. Like what?
Yeah, dude, especially in Colorado, that's like a $5 million house probably.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit like, they have this nice pool, like, 'cause they're like sitting in the back deck. Like it was just like gorgeous.
Yeah, and the back of the house is literally no other houses, this giant, incredible fucking mountain range, and they're crying poor. It's like, no, sell your house. You'll make it back. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was amazing, dude. Even the house that he was house sitting at doing an open house for was an amazing house for Colorado.
Yeah. No, I like how he filled out all the things. He's like, oh, that's weird. It's everybody's the same handwriting.
See, I hope he's licensed. Well, I don't know the laws in Colorado, but you have to be licensed in Arizona to do stuff like that. So,
okay. Well, it was a movie, man. So they take certain creative license.
It is, especially with the house that Mark Wahlberg lives in. That's crying poor. I mean,
correct,
dude. I would live in that house, wouldn't you? That thing was amazing.
No, dude, it was awesome. It was like, it was
literally, he walks out his back door and immediately starts running and disappears and runs 14 or 15 miles in the mountains. It's like, no, this dude has an incredible home in the middle of nowhere. He is a lottery winner.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mike. Well, what else would you like to add about Arthur the King, or do you think we're all done?
So, I really like, if you like animals, you like dogs, this movie will appeal to you. It pulls on the heartstrings a little bit. At the end there, man, I was a little bit worried they were actually going to put down the dog, but they don't. So if you're worried about this movie being kind of an Old Yeller type situation, it is not. It has a good ending. You can go see it. Like Mags definitely was. She was like, if the dog dies, I'm not going to go watch it.
So did you have to tell her ahead of time?
I did tell her. I'm like, you can go watch it.
Yeah, because that was one thing I was kind of worried about the whole time, because they definitely were doing the Old Yeller thing. Showing him, in the hospital and showing him struggling and all this other shit. And then they cut to the scene like, what is it, like 13 months later? And here comes the dog. And you're like, thank God. I wasn't going to talk about it. I wasn't going to spoil it. But yeah, I'm just like, come on, dude. Don't fucking Old Yeller me. Not now, please. I just went on an emotional roller coaster with this dog.
Yeah. The dog made it through that whole race, and now you're going to be telling me you have to kick the butt. No,
that's horrible. And obviously it was true, because that's one thing I really, really liked. Clearly the guy that did this has a professional photographer that just follows him everywhere. But there's photographs throughout the credits at the end of the actual family, including the dog, and not a handful of cheesy snapshots. I mean, these look like, someone from Time magazine followed him around for like a year. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. So this book was written, I think, in 2016, and the thing that happened in 2014. And the dog did pass away in 2020, but it had like a tumor or something. But they did have it for 6 years. So like it wasn't. The dog had a good second part of its life.
Well, and who knows how old Arthur was when he adopted him. I mean, nobody knew how old, my dog Bobo was when I got him. They guessed he was about 5 or 6 years old, and he lived for, I think 8 or 9 years, and then he passed away. He got cancer. It just happens, man. You can't control it,
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I'd say most dogs tend not to live more than 15 years for just really anything. But there are exceptions, of course. But
yeah. Well, like the dog, that I had growing up, it was the only dog we ever frickin' had. Looks very much like Arthur the King. Her name was Sandy. That dog lived forever.
Yes, I do remember.
Like, seriously, my parents got us that dog when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and she did not pass away until I was in college. And she was not a puppy when we adopted her.
Yeah, she lived a long time, dude.
That dog lived a long fucking time. My mom was trying to think about it the other day, and she said it was at least 18 years. At least.
Yeah, that's 18 years with you guys.
With
How
us?
long is that?
I don't know how the dog didn't try and kill itself. I mean, maybe she did. That's why we had to put in the gate around the pool. Wow, that was pretty dark. Sorry, Ma, if you're listening to this. That was a dark one. Anyways, okay, Mike, so how many reels do you give Arthur the King?
I'm going to give Arthur the King 4 out of 5 reels. I had a great time watching this. I think it was fun. It was a good movie.
Mike, I enjoyed it as well. Not as much as you, I guess, because I only give it 3.5. But it's still well worth a watch. Go to the theaters, support the theaters, check this out, get some popcorn, get a cola. Yes, I'm getting old. I said cola. I didn't say Coke. Get yourself a drink. Maybe
cola,
bring in, sneak in some bourbon to put in your cola, whatever.
Your RC, your Royal Crown.
Royal Crown, baby. Yeah. So anyways, all right, Mike, do you want to tell our incredible listeners about the film that we are going to talk about and review next week?
Yeah, dude. Aren't we watching Roadhouse? Because you were super excited.
I am very excited. I really want to see this, but I'm afraid it's not going to be any good, but I hope it's really good. But speaking of the streaming services, this one is actually being boycotted, and I'm sure we can talk about it a little bit next week. Mike, you can do some research on this. But the director of the 2024 Roadhouse starring Jake Gyllenhaal is being boycotted by its director, Doug Liman, because he wants it to be in the theaters and not direct to streaming.
Huh. That's interesting.
So he's not doing any press tours. He did not go to the premiere. He did not go to the South by Southwest premiere. Nothing. He is boycotting the fuck out of his own film.
How did it do in the South by Southwest? Did you see anything, man?
I didn't look anything up on it. I just know he didn't go and he refused. And he was actually not trying to show it at South by Southwest at all. But, Amazon went above his head and showed it anyways. So there you go. It's streaming on Amazon. It drops next Thursday. No, not next Thursday. This Thursday. Sorry, I'm still
21st.
thinking it's Friday. It's March 21st. So I'm excited. I think it looks pretty good. I've watched the trailer a few times. I really like Jake Gyllenhaal. Doug Liman is a great director. He's done a lot of films that, both of us love. A little thing called Edge of Tomorrow. He was a producer on that. He directed Go. He directed Swingers. This is a guy that has some credits. He directed American Made. He's done a lot with Tom Cruise. He also directed Edge of Tomorrow. Sorry. He directed Jumper. He directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He's directed a lot of stuff. So this is a pro, and he is very upset that it's not in the theaters. And I agree. I want to see this in the theaters, but we'll wait until next week until we talk about that after we watch it on streaming on Amazon Prime. Mike, I think I'm done chatting. What about you? Do you want to chat some more, or would you like to go to bed?
No. I think I'm good. I'm looking forward to this Roadhouse. It's going to be tough for it to I don't know. I really like the original Roadhouse, so I know it's going to be different, and I'm just going to have to try and watch it through an unfiltered, I have to push aside the original Roadhouse and just try and watch this as a new movie. It's going to be hard.
That's the best way to kind of look at it to me. Yes, it's a remake, but it's also kind of a reimagining, because this is not a spoiler. This is out there already. Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who is the character that Patrick Swayze played by the name of Dalton, in the new one, he is a UFC fighter. So that is a nice little reimagining of the character. So we'll see how it goes. I have high hopes for it. I hope it's fun. I hope it's good. If it's garbage, I'll be sad, but I don't think it will be.
No. I think with the director and Jake Gyllenhaal in it, I think it's going to be good. So, with that, Matt, I guess I'll wrap it up. So, thanks for listening, everybody, and make sure to follow us on the socials. Facebook, Instagram, and X or Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. And we'll catch you on the next pod. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Welcome, everyone, to Ma Hinshaw Loses Her Many Cookies. Episode 55, Arthur the King. Good evening or good night, Matt. However, how are you doing?
You know, you don't have to say either, because people listen to the podcast all hours of the day, so they don't know that we're recording at night.
Next time I'll say good morning. Okay.
You do whatever you want, Ma. Aren't you gonna wish Mysterious Mike Talon happy birthday?
Oh, is today his birthday?
It is.
Oh, happy birthday, Mysterious Mike Talent. Wow.
And aren't you gonna wish your daughter happy birthday, because her birthday was technically yesterday?
Wait, her birthday is today, the 19th, right?
Okay, so I'm trying to talk in the future, because this podcast comes out tomorrow, not today.
Oh, okay. Oh, heavens. Okay. Happy birthday, number one daughter.
Dang.
I guess. Well, she's the first
I'm telling
one born.
Heather. I am telling Heather to listen to your podcast this week. She never listens. She's going to listen now, because you called Meredith number one. Ooh.
It's because she was okay, I could have said firstborn, but that sounds boring. So anyway, I just said number one because she was the first one that was around. That's all. There you go. I'm being nice, honest. Well, anyway, guys, you got to go see this movie. It really was good. I really loved it. Absolutely loved it. And, Matt, did you like it at all?
Of course. Why didn't I like this movie? It's a feel-good movie, Mom. It's one of the reasons why Mike and I decided to do it and after the Zone of Interest, because to cheer us up and lift our spirits after such a serious topic.
That was a good idea, because this was definitely a feel-good movie. But I really, I felt sorry for the poor puppy dog. I mean, he was in the alleys and of the city, and I can't remember what city it was, in the Dominican Republic. And then other dogs would beat up on him, and he didn't have food. And I kind of felt very sad about that. But then all I know is I go by Mark Wahlberg's name. I don't even remember his name in the movie. I really don't. But anyway.
Name in the movie is Michael.
Oh, Michael. Really? Michael. Okay, well, anyway, Michael was... well, anyway, he was really, really good. I mean, he wanted to win this one marathon, which I call it super marathon. Tried it
Well,
before. And,
it's not a super
no,
marathon. It has a specific name,
it does.
I think, but it's just an adventure racer because how I described it in our podcast is basically the Iron Man on steroids.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Okay, Simu, though, she was
Simu
a
Liu?
girl. Yeah, she
Okay.
is
That
a
is
girl.
that is not a girl. Simu Liu is the Asian gentleman that was
Oh,
in
is that him?
Shang-Chi. Yes. Can you
Oh,
not
well, I
talk
don't.
over me, please, Mom? We've had this discussion. Go ahead.
Okay, I goofed. I don't know the name of the girl then that was in their group. I thought it
Natalie is her real name.
Natalie. Okay, Natalie. She must have really trained for this movie because this was really amazing. All the work they had to do and how far it was. And I can't believe the dog. I mean, Michael gives the dog one meatball, and that dog follows them for the entire rest of the course. I mean, that precious puppy. Aw, now I'm going to start crying. Anyway,
Why?
the
Because you like meatballs? I like meatballs too, just not the
but
ones that they
no,
had.
no, no. Well, he was hungry and he had no food and he was beaten up and it was awful. The poor dog, and he adopted them. I think dogs will do that sometimes, stray puppies. But anyway, Natalie was just amazing and climbing rocks and oh guys, the one thing where they take a zip line, I think it was a zip line, wasn't it? Kind of.
Across the ravine with their bikes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you got to see this movie because that was just amazing. This is a true story and oh my gosh. I just thought that's it. They're not going to make it. That's they're toast. They're done. You got to go see it because it was just fantastic.
Well, if you want to know more about the true story, Mike did a lot of research after watching the film about the true story. And he
Did
goes
he?
into it towards the end of our podcast, not yours.
Well, everyone should listen to your podcast because you guys are more knowledgeable.
They listen to yours too. It's at the end of mine.
Well, okay. And to think that Mark Wahlberg is 52 and he did that, wow.
Well, Mom, I don't think he
Amazing.
actually did the race. I mean, come on. They were doing the
But he had
stunts
to
and all
do
that other
part
stuff.
of it.
Yeah, but
He
there
had-
was
well,
the zip line thing is clearly green screen, and
Yeah,
it looks pretty
right.
bad. I know your eyesight isn't great, but it looked pretty rough in the theater.
well, hey, my eyesight's bad, so therefore it looked good to me.
Well, of course.
Even though my eyesight may be bad, but in this movie it was beautiful. The mountains were unbelievable. I would think the Dominican Republic being an
Did
island.
you just call them Dominican Republicans?
I
I don't
know.
think that's a thing, Ma.
No, I know it. I'm sorry.
Does someone have
Anyway.
MAGA on their mind? Jesus.
No, I don't really. No. Anyway, because the Dominican Republic is an island, I didn't think there would be these really glorious mountains, of course, covered with jungle and green plants and just absolutely beautiful stuff. And I thought the photography was really good. And then when they get to the water, that is just beautiful. It was, to me, a really gorgeous area that honestly, I've never heard of this race, but now I know, and it's phenomenal. People from all over the world enter this. I wouldn't have the nerve to. It's like 400 miles, I think. It's unreal. But that dog was awesome. And he was a star. And I don't know his name, but he was so good. And if you want to have a feel-good
The dog's
movie,
name?
yeah, don't they all have names?
Arthur.
Movie stars? Oh, I mean his real name, not his
Oh,
movie
I don't know
name.
what his real name is. I don't know
Well,
if that's. I don't think that's on IMDb's. I mean, I'll look.
well, don't worry about it. But I'm just saying he was very, very good. And I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't.
it was
I don't see the dog named on IMDb, Mom. Jesus,
okay. So
it's
he didn't have
fine.
a
You
name,
crazy old bat.
but he was precious, not at all cute. Ragtag, worn out. I thought he was going to die. I was crying because no, they're going to wipe out the doggy. No. I thought the dog was going to die, and it was so sad. And I was crying, and I didn't think they'd be able to save him. But miraculously, they did get him to America. He had a really bad infection, parasite stuff, but he made it. And guys, I was worried that this movie was going to be like Old Yeller and they'd have to shoot the dog, but they didn't. And I was like, yay! So go see Arthur the King. It was really good and beautiful. The water was beautiful. It was just a gorgeous movie and a good movie, and I loved it.
You just like it
Ma
because it
loved
looked
it.
like our dog that would never die.
Well, she eventually did pass, but yeah,
Mom,
our
that
dog
dog was
Sandy.
older than me for most of its life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And she wasn't as dirty as the dog in the movie, but she would get pretty bad. Mm-hmm. Sandy.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Mike and I
anyway,
talked about it.
everybody go see that movie. I don't care if it's corny or not. I think it was
Who
really
said it
well
was
worth
corny?
it.
You're the one that said it was corny.
Well, people do say dog movies are corny. And yeah, what do we want to
Well,
see
Mom,
that
why
for?
are you repeating what random they say? Who cares what they say? This is your podcast. You say what you want to
Okay.
say. I
Okay.
know it's
Well,
a hard concept to be able to have freedom away from dad, but you have it on this. Say what you
okay.
want to say.
I'm okay. I am saying, guys, go see this movie. It's entertaining. It's feel good movie. Yes, it's awesome what the athletes did to get through this race. It was absolutely awesome. And I think you will really enjoy it. And there you are. That is my candid opinion. Okay? Right,
Okay,
Matt?
well, then how many reels do you give Arthur the King since you're done talking about it?
I'm going to give it 5 cookies. There.
I can't believe you give it a perfect score. But yeah, you
I
give
did.
Dune not a perfect score because you're a hater.
Yeah, I'm a hater. No, I had issues, a few things. I didn't have issues with this movie. I can't help it. I thought it was very good. And that's my view. And I'm old, and you'd have to take my word for it. But I thought it was a good movie. And if you want to feel good for a change instead of, everything's horrible, go see it. Okay?
So speaking about everything being horrible, Mom, next week we are not going to be reviewing Roadhouse like I said on the podcast and the radio because I didn't realize this movie was being released in March. I thought it was going to be a summer blockbuster, but clearly it is not. So instead, we are going to go watch and review Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Well, it's true that you have not been watching the previews because every preview I have seen at the movie has been coming March 22nd, Ghostbusters. And I'm like, wowee. So I'm glad you found out.
Well, then why
Okay.
didn't you say anything on Friday?
I thought you knew.
And I think you're drunk.
Okay, I'll go get something. No. All right. Well, anyhow. Yes, Ghostbusters, guys. I'm so excited to see it. Oh boy, oh boy.
Are you sure you
So,
haven't been drinking already?
no, this is my normal weirdness. Okay.
Okay. I gotcha.
Very, very normally very weird. But oh, I'm so excited to see this. I mean, I don't know if any of the actors that were in the original are as old as I am, but they're creeping up there. They're pretty old. Anyway, go and enjoy. Yay.
So, Mom, what else would you like to say to our listeners? Are you all done talking about Arthur the King?
I'm done talking about Arthur. Okay.
Okay. Well, then,
Okay.
do you want me to take it out, or do you want to take us out?
No, you got to take us out. I'm not a good taker-outer.
Well, obviously, I mean, you've been married to Dad forever, so...
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, once again for tuning in to another arousing. No, that's a terrible, terrible way to end it. Another dog-filled episode of. Oh, you know what? That's what I should ask. I should have said how many dog biscuit cookies do you give it instead of just cookies? But
Oh, Foo, I'm sorry.
Mom, have you ever made dog cookies?
No, I haven't, but they like my regular cookies.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
anyways, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to another episode. I'm just going to go with episode this time. Another episode of Ma Hinshaw Loses Her Dog Biscuits. Tune in next week, where I'm pretty sure we're going to stick to our plan this time. We're going to chat about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Thanks again. Have a good rest of your day, evening, morning, night, afternoon, whatever.
Bye.